Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Audrey Henson. I'm the digital marketing coordinator for Bell Bell Buick GMC trucks in Little River, South Carolina. We are also a member of the chamber and participate in various events like this. So I'm here today to help you with a part two of utilizing Canva. And if you were here for the first one, you will remember that I did a very in-depth approach to the platform and things of that nature. But today, I'm going to do a condensed version of that and create an advertisement that promotes an actual event of Bell & Bells that is approaching. And I hope that these tips and tricks and the steps that I teach you and show you today will be beneficial to your own business and your own matters that you need to promote. Whether or not you all are aware, Canva is a graphic design platform that you can access through your internet browser. They also have a mobile app that you can put on your iPad or other personal device, even your cell phone. So it's definitely a very beneficial tool for small businesses like all of us here today. And if you have any in-depth questions, feel free to refer back to the Little River Chamber's YouTube channel. Part one of this webinar is on that channel, and I will highlight some of the things that I went over in that one today, but a more in-depth approach you can find on their YouTube channel. But to begin, if you've never visited Canva, you will need to type in www.canva.com, create an account, or log in if you already do have an account. I went through the steps to creating an account from start to finish in part one. So again, feel free to pull up the YouTube channel. I'm sure if you're unable to locate it, Izzy can provide that to you as well. So once you log into Canva, you will see this main menu, and you can see your different options for designing different types of templates, all the way from presentations to flyers. And ultimately, as a small business, there are different promotions and things that you need to promote, that you need to advertise to the public, be it through print or digital touch points. And for example, Bell & Bell is hosting a blood drive with the American Red Cross in just a few weeks on May 6th. And of course, we have communications that need to be sent out to the public to make them aware of this so that they can come and help make a difference with our dealership. So with that comes print and digital advertisement, flyers for our doors, items for social media, and the list goes on. So I'm going to create a design that is relevant to this upcoming event that will help promote it. And then I will also show you a way that within just a few seconds, not even more than a few minutes, a tool that you can use to magically resize this one design into multiple designs for different print and digital touch points. So to start with, I'm going to start with a template for social media. And if you hover over the top, next to home, you'll see that there's different drop-down menus from templates to features, even learn. And I went over that more in part one. So sticking with templates, you'll see that within social media, some of the templates include anything from Instagram all the way to LinkedIn post. So I'm going to choose a Facebook post. And it's going to load the various templates that are available to you to use. And I could go in and just create this one or this one and make a few changes and it be what I want it to be to serve its purpose for this upcoming event. But to help you get a very deep dive in just a short amount of time, I'm going to start with a blank Facebook post. So you'll just hover over it, click it like you would anything else. And then it's going to load your canvas. And you'll see all these things on the left as well as the menu on the top. And I could go through and tell you about each and every one of them, but a lot of it is self-explanatory. And in part one of that video, I did go through each tab on the left as well as the menu on the top portion of the window. So feel free to refer back to that video. And this one will be available to you also sometime after the conclusion of this webinar today. So jumping into this Facebook post, let me tell you a little bit about the blood drive. Again, it's on May 6th. We've got a set amount of times. And so I know that our dealership, our brand, and our mission is very community driven. We're committed to customer service. Not only that, but also community involvement. So, of course, I want to emphasize that in the copy of my design. So I'm going to go over here, and I want to make the background something different than white. Hover over to the background color, and you'll see that our branded colors are already here. And to do this, you would go into your brand kit within Canva. That feature is available in Canva Pro. That has more detail again in that part 1 video. But for today, I'm going to go into my brand kit palette and choose this navy blue. Now, of course, that's not all we need. We need to add some text to give readers a description of our event and give them a call to action to make them want to attend our event and make a difference. So I'm going to hover over to text, add a heading, and it's going to automatically give me the font that our business uses from day to day for heading in Copy Matters. So that was achieved automatically by going and assigning that heading font in our brand kit to our actual font name. So I know that I want it to be community driven. So I'm going to assign the headline copy to be community strong all day long. And I want to capitalize all of the text, not just the first letters of each word. So after typing that, I just go and I hover over the 3 dots and I click uppercase. Bam. Already done. And for now, I'm just going to move it out of the way and add all the text boxes and elements that I need, and then we'll put them in place. So the next subheading that I need, this is more of the area where I want to give somebody the call to action, and then I'm going to put the details below it. So for now, that's what it's going to be. So you see that I have my heading, my subheading, and now I need to assign more copy and like more of the body text. I'm going to use our location, give more details of the event. And given whenever you go and create your own design, it could be something related to a sale or an event at your business that's not community related, but you should always have a heading, subheading, and some body text to give just enough information to make your reader want to do more. So let's pull up the details. I want to put in our dealership's address. And then on the next line, I'm going to put the day, date, and time. So I'm going to modify the sizing and spacing of these, and I will show you how to do that. So this seems, let's space it out a little bit so that we can see what I'm attempting to do. Now, when I'm creating or editing a design, I definitely like to see my margins. And it's not that the things on the outside of those dotted lines are not going to print, but you want to be cautious when designing close to them in case you have a word or a letter, it could get cut off. So I always try to stay within the margins. You can't exceed it, just be cautious when doing so. So I want to make this into 2 lines of text. Let's see. There we go. And you could go up to the top and just keep typing in different font sizes, or you can just drag this to ensure that it meets the edges of those margins. And every body designs differently, but this is how I do it. So after extending the size of that text box so that it aligns with the edges of the margins, I then move down, and I'm just going to move this up here for now, get it closer to our heading. And again, I want the edges of this text box to touch the margins. So let's see. So again, I'm just dragging the edges of it. And you see that there's still some spacing on each side of the two sentences or the one sentence. So I'm going to go up here and just add a little bit. I'm going to keep it at 19. So after doing that, let's make sure that it's centered. I just go up here into the 3 dotted lines, click position, hit center, and it automatically positions that whole text box in the center of your design. So again, you could click it, drag it around wherever you want, but you can also go to position and align it to different areas of the page. And for now, I'm going to leave it there in the center. We then have our details, our body of our design. And to me, even though I'm going to move all of this up and center it closer together, I think that it needs to be broken up by something. That the subheading and heading needs to be broken up by that body copy. So I'm going to go up into elements, and I want to add a line, just a simple line to separate and break up all that text so that it doesn't seem so text heavy. Again, I clicked elements. I see a simple line I want to use over here, and I just click it, and it adds it to the page. But it's a little too long for my liking. I don't think it should be that long. So all you have to do is drag each side of the line until you get it where you want it. And that's good enough for me. I'm going to now choose to vertically align these 4 elements. And by that, I mean ensure that the spacing between all 4 things I created is even. And sometimes you can eyeball it, but if you want it to be exact and use the features of Canva Pro and even Canva Free, you will just select all 4 of your elements using your keyboard. And let me move this down. Click the 3 dots. You'll hit position, and then you'll hit vertically. And so you'll see that now it's broken it up. There's more vertical spacing and making it more evenly spaced. And so if I was to hit undo, you see that the subheading and heading text are too close together. But when I went up there and selected all of them, those 3 dots, position, and vertically spaced those elements evenly, it has more space between it. Now I selected all of those again, and I want to put them in I want to line it right there to the bottom margin. But that's a little boring to me. I need to add some graphic, something that catches the reader's eye. I've added all the text I want, but I now want to add something that helps it stand out. So I'm going to go up again into elements. Now you could choose a photo, and I could search blood drive, and I could pop in that photo, but I want to brand it more to our dealership. I could put it in the center, and boom, design is done. But for our dealership, I want something that stands out, that ties to our commitment to community involvement, as well as showing off the Bell Bell logo, because I need to somehow put that logo on this design. So I'm going to go up into elements, and I'm going to type in blood drive, but whenever you're designing your own design within Canva, you just need to go and type in elements, keywords that tie to your promotion, be it a sale or a food drive or anything of that sort. You would go and type it up here in the search box, and it will pull up elements that are relevant to those keywords. So I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can find something that stands out. And for today, I'm going to use this blood bag, whatever exact term it's called. But see how when I clicked it, it automatically put it as it's shown on the left-hand side. But I want it to show off my brand colors. I want consistency in this design that ties to our brand colors and brand elements. So I would go up here, select color, and then I want the outline to be red. Bam. All you have to do is go up there, select the color that you want. You can also type in the word of the color that you want, or even the hex code in this search bar, and it would automatically change that color for you from black or what have you to the color you want. So that looks good, but it's still a little boring. I want it to tie again to our commitment to South Carolina and North Carolina because our dealership is very involved in both states. So going back to elements, I type in the keyword South Carolina and it pops out this state outline. I want to make it white. So I'm going to do that, leave it there for now. And I'm going to do the same thing again for North Carolina. So whatever elements of the graphic that you want to put on your design, just be sure to have some general keyword associated with it. And you would just go and search for it in the Elements tab of the canvas. So I'm just going to play around with it until I get it how I want it. So it will get moved, don't worry. See. Now, I'm just going to play around with it. Again, you can use your mouse to move it. You can use your keyboard to move your elements or text boxes. It's honestly endless. So after I've put those on there, positioned them how I want it, I like it, but I've got it cut off. But I don't want to move any of those elements distance-wise from each other. So I selected all three elements. And then I'm just going to drag it down until it meets the margin line or wherever you want to place the design on or the elements on your design. And if you want to ensure that this whole group of elements is centered on your page, select all of them, hit group, then you'll hit position and hit center. Now just say for some reason you want your elements to be in the middle of the page. It would position it automatically wherever you choose to align it. But for now, I just want to keep it in the center and meeting at the margin. So I dragged it there automatically. So there you have it. I'm satisfied with this design, and I'm sure when you go and create whatever template you want, you will be satisfied also. And it will serve the purpose for what needs to be met, be it a promotion, a retail sale, community event, what have you. But I love this for Facebook, but I want to make it into a flyer for our doors when customers walk into our building, and whether they're coming for a service, oil change, or they're coming to buy a car, or they're just coming to say hello to the Bell family, I want them to be made aware of this upcoming event and still maintain consistency through our event communications. So there's this magic resize tool in Canva Pro. Now, there is a Canva free account that you can use that has tons of endless tools. But if you want to upgrade to Canva Pro, this would be the account type you need to use this tool I'm about to show you. Again, it's called the Magic Resize tool. I've finalized my design. I'm ready to size it to something else, be it bigger or smaller. I would hover over here to the top menu, hit Resize. And you see that I could come in here and put a custom size all the way from pixels to inches to millimeters, even centimeters. But I want to make it into an 8.5 by 11 inch flyer. I'm just going to select that and hit copy and resize. And then it's going to try to show me a pop-up. But there we go. It's going to resize it into a new window. And bam, it has sized all of those elements and text boxes right into the size of an 8.5 by 11 inch flyer. Now, when it does resize, it may not be exactly how you want it. For example, everything fit perfectly on this flyer size design. I'm going to re-pull up my margins. But you see how in the Facebook post, all of the elements stayed within those margin lines. But here, it somewhat exceeded it. You will just have to sometimes play around with your text boxes, photos, or elements to ensure that it continues to meet the design guidelines you have set for yourself in this project. So I'm just going to reduce it a little bit, reduce this one a little bit. Ooh, let's do that. And then I want this to really pop out in this flyer. So I'm just going to extend it, recenter it, And then I want to make sure that all of these items are vertically aligned evenly, or vertically spaced evenly. Hit that like I did before. And then we want it to be centered in the page. There you go. So within 45 seconds, I was able to convert a Facebook post design to a flyer design as well. And it's still consistent. It has the same headline, subheading, body copy with details, same graphic, and it's consistent. When someone sees it on Facebook and then they come into our dealership, it's going to counteract in their mind and remind them, oh, wait, I've seen that. Let me learn more. Another thing that you could do, just say you want to send this out in an email blast to your customer base or things of that nature. You can do that. And before I click on email header to show you how to modify those elements, you can see as I scroll that there are endless options for resizing elements into different sizes. You could do a brochure, a postcard, if you wanted to do a direct mail piece for your promotion or advertisement. You could do Twitter posts, but I'm going to choose email header. Again, copy and resize. It should pull it up into a new window. Now you see how before my original design was more square shaped. It had more of a vertical sizing to it, but the email header, in email headers, it's going to be more horizontal. And so it sometimes makes everything seem very small, because if I downloaded this for use in an email blast to our customer base, people may not be able to read that. So like I said before, you will have to sometimes, knit and grit with your elements and text boxes and whatever you have in your original design to ensure it meets the sizing of your new resized design. So again, I want to turn on my margins. And for this, to ensure that my element and my text boxes stand out and are readable by my email receivers, I'm going to move it around a little bit. But it still maintains that font name and all the elements that it had beforehand. I'm just going to move it around, play with it a little bit until I get it to my liking. And let's make sure all of our text boxes are left aligned. For the sake of time, I'm just going to leave them there, but I want them to be vertically spaced evenly. So select them, go to them 3 dots, vertically, bam. And for some reason, let's zoom in. I don't know why it won't. There we go. Looks like it has some spacing. There we go. So again, I'm just going to move it where I want it. And if I was to send out an email blast using this design, this is what I would do. Because if you try to keep everything right on top of each other in a horizontal design, it's going to be very hard to read, and it may keep the readers from focusing on your content. So let's vertically space it. We see that the elements touch each end of the margin lines, but I want to ensure that these do too. So I just selected all of them, dragged the edges of the text box until it touched each end of the margin. Let's go back to fit. Ooh, ignore that. And there you have it. And just say you want to center this. There you have it. And to me, that is much more legible compared to the original resized design. Most of the time, in summary, it's going to be very minimal changes once you do resize it from a Facebook post to a flyer and whatnot. But there are instances when you do use that magical resize tool that you are going to have to move around and play with some things. But within just a few minutes, not even, you can have another touch point to utilize this design. So that is really the gist of it. Again, I started with a single design within the homepage, designed it, went to the Resize tool, chose whatever sizing I wanted. I could input custom sizing also. I then had a flyer, and I then had an email header. So that is 3 different touch points I can use to promote my event and advertise its upcoming relevance. So Izzy, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, you just quickly mention how you'll download it. So like PNG versus PDF again.
Yes. So once I've finalized these 3 designs, I'm so excited to share it to, my dealership and even through those digital touch points in social media and email platforms. But how do I get to it? How do I get it from Canva to my doors or to Facebook or to an email blast? You're going to go up here and hover over the 3 dots, and you can choose their recommended options. You can share it, print it, but I just want to download those files for use in social media and email. You're going to go up there again, hit download, choose your file type. I always choose either, for the most part, PNG or PDF print. Those are just, to me, a higher quality resolution, and doesn't seem so blurry or things of that nature. But you do see that it ranges from JPEG to SVG. You can even download a video if you wanted to add some animation to your design that you create. So I'm going to select, for the email header, a PNG file type. I don't need a transparent background, and I don't need to compress it. But if you do, you just check those boxes, and you would hit download. And it'll begin downloading it, and it'll then, once it begins downloading, giving you this little pop-up window. I would go and do the same for this flyer. You just hit download. For this one, I would probably choose a PDF print, and just check with your print vendor or whoever prints your items to see if you need the crop marks and bleed to show. Just for standard flyers, I never do. But if you do, check that, hit download. The same window will pop up. And for print items like this that you need physical copies of, Canva does have a print service. And you can order directly through your account. It's tied to the card that's associated with your subscription. And it takes just a few minutes to get flyers or any type of print delivered to your door. To do that, you would go and you could hit that one, or you could hover over the 3 dots. Again, this is where you would download it or share it to different mediums. You can see that I could print the flyer design, convert this design to t-shirts, even a gift certificate. So it's very simple to get these designs in your hands to the hands of others through those downloading and print options. Are there any other questions, Izzy? Or anything that you'd like me to walk through while we're here in the Canva Pro account?
I don't think so, because we did the resize. We did just a basic. I'm just trying to think of what other like basic intermediate questions could be, but
well, I can show the brand kit real quick since I did mention that.
Okay.
I won't go into depth.
Don't go into depth, but you can show it.
Okay. So after you've finalized your designs, downloaded them, you want to return to the home screen to see what else Canva has to offer to your small business. You'll see the items on the left as well as the menu on the top. Like I mentioned before, I went into depth on those items in part 1 of this webinar series, and you can access that on the Little River Chambers YouTube channel. Like I mentioned before, I was able to pull my brand colors directly from my brand kit. This is a Canva Pro feature for Canva Pro subscribers, and that is the paid version of the graphic design platform. Once you click on the left-hand side on brand kit, you'll see that I was able to upload our various brand logos, and you would just do so on your own by selecting the plus sign and pulling it from your computer files. I was able to go in here and add our brand colors, and it builds a palette that I can even name if I'd like. I can even, click here and look at the different options for those uploaded files. And then in my designs, both today and in the future, when I hit heading text all the way to body text, it automatically pulls my brand fonts. And so I'm even able to upload various fonts that we sometimes use. But if you have ones that you use consistently for your business's communications, definitely make those your brand fonts and upload them. You can edit them right here. And this is just a quick way to upload your items and boost your efficiency in designing various designs and communications for your small business. And again, that is a Canva Pro feature. And there's other features as well. And those were highlighted in, again, part 1 of the YouTube video. So again, my name is Audrey Henson. I enjoyed my time with all of you today. If you have any questions or would like my input on your own Canva designs, you can reach me by contacting Bell Bell Buick GMC at 843-390-6094. And my email address is my name, Audrey Henson, HINSON _BB @outlook.com. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.